nothing.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. My mic is tripping. Hi, baby. How are you? Hi, Barbara. Man, my StreamYard is tripping. My mic is tripping. Maybe I should have just laid back down. I ain't got time for the shenanigans. I'm telling you. I really, really don't. I really don't. How's work going, sweetheart? Girl, my life is a flash, a hot flash. Every time I turn around, I'm just ask Uncle. He be like, "Are you okay?" Like, yeah. I don't know what it is. Hi, Fonda. How are you, sweetheart? Oh my goodness. And the sun finally did come out today, so I guess that's a contributing factor. What can I say? I got the fan going. I got this fan going, and I'm still melting. Oh, Lord. Oh my goodness. Well, I shouldn't be too long tonight. I started to go earlier. I may go early tomorrow. I started to go earlier today and I sat down and fell asleep. I'm like, oh. Well, cancel that idea. Oh my goodness. But we had a good show last night, I think. Did you guys enjoy last night's show? I know I did. We found out some very, very informative information about cruises. Uh, okay, Barbara. I mean, they're nice and all. They seem like they're nice, but when I found all that stuff out, I was like, mm-mm. You like it, Fonda? I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to have to come up with something else. You know what I was thinking is maybe Vegas. Hi, Camille. I haven't seen my emails yet, sweetheart. I've been trying to prepare for this. Let me go get my iPad. I'll be right back. I'm always discombobulated. I'm about tired of these earphones, too. Headphones, earphones, whatever they are. They are on my last and final nerve. Okay. Mail, 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 mail. Okay. I'm going to have to check that out, Camille. Hi, Charles. Yes, Charles is doing wonderful. I'm glad you came in and spoke for yourself, sir. Oh, yeah, Charles. I called Charles or texted Charles to make sure he knew that we were looking for him, or haven't seen him in a while. So he is living his best life. That's what's up. As long as you good, we good. That is all that matters. Ooh wee. You know I ain't gonna smoke on camera, right? So what am I gonna do? Oh goodness gracious. I kind of struggled with today's live. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, Charles, I've been at that casino lately. I went to the casino, and the last time I went, I was $200 down. Let me tell you how God works, y'all. I don't know, Barbara, but I know I've been told that I can get if somebody wanted to be a butthole, they could report me to YouTube because they don't like people smoking or drinking on camera, drinking alcohol, which you can't really tell what people are drinking, but you can't you can't fool nobody about a cigarette. Gotta go watching tennis. Okay, Charles. Well, I was gonna tell you what happened, but I'll wait. I'll tell everybody else. The last time I went to the casino, I was $200 down, and I went to cash in my little slip at the machine. Where you can cash in whatever you got left over on that ticket. I went to cash in that ticket, and there was $200 in that machine that somebody forgot to take. Look at God. Think I didn't take my tail out of that casino and went home? I sure did. So I broke even. God had my back on that one. Because I don't like losing money. So I don't know if I'll be going back to the casino anytime soon. I might not. I don't know. But that was a trip. That was not just a blessing. It was a trip. I looked down. I thought somebody was punking me. I really did. I snatched that $200 so quick. Wasn't nobody around to claim it. I'm looking around. Did somebody just walk away from this machine? Just sitting there, right there, just sitting there. $200, two $100 bills in the machine that somebody forgot to grab. I said, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. My grandkids appreciate it. My husband appreciates it. The school district appreciates it. I know that's right, LaWanda. Absolutely, Faith. Child, did I take it? Shoot, I sure did. It was 2 feet from the floor. Now, had it been on the floor, would you have taken it? It's just like if somebody, okay, they tell you to take those tickets, right, and treat them like cash. So that means hold on to your ticket because if somebody else finds it, you're butt out. Yes, Fonda, I was going to talk about Vegas. Yeah, Charles, I think what we're going to probably do, we're not going to do a cruise. We're not doing a cruise. In Vegas, they'll take you to jail for that. How is that if somebody walks away from money on the floor? They would take you to jail for finding money? Child, girl, listen. They'd have to catch me. They'd have to catch me. How you gonna arrest somebody for finding money that somebody else walked away from? Nowhere to be found. I stood there. I'm looking around. Okay, who does this belong to? That's right. They tell you, even with those tickets that you get out of the machine. No, it was on the machine. It was on the machine. It was as if somebody had taken it out of the machine, set it on top, got stuff together, and walked away. Boom, gone. Finders keepers. Finders keepers. And what they need to do in those cases, if what they need to do in those cases, if if that money had been in like like if you put your card in the machine and you forget to take your card out of the machine, it spits your card out, but it's halfway out of the machine. What they need to do with that money is the same thing that they do with cards. If you walk away from a machine in one of those cases, then that money should suck right back in there after a certain amount of time. Hi, Mr. Phillips. So I'm just like, hey, thank you. If it was on the floor, it would be no different. It's sitting on the little ledge where on that machine. Well, thank you. Either way it goes, thank you. Excuse me. So yeah, getting back to this discussion of Vegas, they'll say I should have called a slot attendant. Well, they can say it all they want now because all this stuff happened days ago. I'll call the casino. How about that? I'll call the casino and say, hey, I need a slot attendant. I found some money on top of a slot machine. Just thought I'd let you know. Cheers. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. No. Jesus is still working on me on that respect. Shit. Uh-uh. Many times I've been busted, scammed from people. We ain't gonna name no names. But shoot, I sure did. Got me a free $200. Still waiting on that other 1,300 from you know where. But I ain't never gonna see that. Fonda said, Auntie, don't hate the player, hate the slots. That's the comment of the day. What? Wait a minute, Mr. Phillips, someone hacked into your computer? Oh no. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry about that. Is there, I mean, did they get your information? Have they been tampering with your banking information and stuff like that? That would be my greatest fear. People in Russia. Well, why doesn't that surprise me? Why does that not surprise me? Wow. They want to look at us as a bunch of criminals, but wow, that's crazy. Someone got you too, Lawanda? Lord have mercy. Make you want to go back to the good old days where you just didn't have to deal with computers. Wow. That's sad. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Technology is supposed to be the way now. Oh, yeah, you got hacked in 2016? Wow. I'm telling you that this world is full, full of thieves. Stole my IP address. Lord have mercy. Do you have a VPN attached to your computer? If you have a VPN, that would have scrambled that. Oh wow, Camille. I I agree with that, Faith. They watching us right now. They watching us right now. That ain't nothing new. I had several years back in 2009. I had a bank account with Bank of America, and I ordered checks. This was before we were, paying for stuff online. We would write checks, mail the check, or take the check into the facility and pay right then and there. But I had run out of checks. But wait a minute, no, I hadn't run out of checks. I had a checking account. I'm thinking of a different situation. I had a checking account with Bank of America. And do you know one of them? I believe it was somebody working with Bank of America. Because let me tell you what they did. They ordered checks on my account. No, I haven't noticed a flash, Fonda. Lord Jesus, I did tell they to find out my password to it. Can't sign into it. Oh my God. And you can't sign into your laptop, Mr. Phillips? Or is it certain accounts you can't sign into? Man, I tell you that you got to be so careful now. And it doesn't matter how careful you are, they gonna still try to get you somewhere or another. My CMD flashed a box. I don't know what a CMD is. Wow, I haven't even seen it, Fonda. I haven't seen that. Well, I tell you what, Bank of America, I don't care what nobody say. I believe that work there was a worker there, had to be, ordered checks to be mailed to my house. But they diverted the checks to a parcel of what is a UPS store, to be picked up at the UPS store. And whoever this person was, they went on a shopping spree. And I found out about it 2 days in. They literally drove, oh my God, they drove miles and miles and miles, stopping at this store and that store and this store and that store. They ran. I found out when they were trying to buy a car. They tried to write a check off of my account as a down payment to a car. I believe it, Barbara. Hi, Nadine. Command prompt box flash every now and then. Oh my goodness. Make me want to stay on my iPad. That is crazy business. That is absolute. Let me get off of this camera. I'm done smoking. That is crazy. Okay, I got to change my little thing here. Maybe I'll move it over here. Is that better? Yeah. Or I could just leave it like that. How about that? That's better. iPad flashes too. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we're doomed. We're doomed. So, yesterday we talked about President Trump and his illness, whatever that may be. Oh, okay. I understand, Mr. Phillips. I don't blame you at all. Don, oh, that's right. Your mom had a hip replacement. How is she doing? I need me 2 new knees, but I ain't got the time to be recuperating. So I just hobble around. It still ain't gonna help my back. My knees will be feeling fine, but my back will still be messed up. Ooh wee. So anyway, we were talking about Donald Trump's health issues. Good, Don. Good. Okay, Barbara says Experian told me my information was on the dark web. One thing about it, they can't get blood from a turnip, and my bank will not let anyone infiltrate my. Amen to that. That's what's up, Barbara. Can't get blood from a turnip. They tried to get my Cash App too, so I can't sign in that even though I want to give. Oh, I understand, Mr. Phillips. Don't you worry about none of that. You know I don't get on here and beg from people. I ask people if they want to give. If not, don't. Cause these times is hard nowadays. And let's be honest, we're older people. We don't. Some of us here have fixed incomes. I wouldn't expect anybody to go into their pockets if they, if they're on a fixed income like that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't expect anybody to do that. So, you know, I'm not on a fixed income, but my money's so funny. I can't donate the way I used to. So these times are getting kind of hard. These times are definitely getting kind of hard. Yes, old school. I mean, I still do online things. I do a lot of things online, but I try to protect myself with the two-step authenticator and the VPN, that kind of stuff. But that's still not enough at times. I to this day I can't get a Cash App account, and they have not told me why. I used to have one. I used to have a Cash App account, and then one day I guess somebody tried to send me some money. It was one of my clients tried to send me uh, her copay for her child care. And she came back and told me, she says, I tried to send the copay to you, but Cash App wouldn't accept it. So I'm like, what? Now, I never used this Cash App account other than to receive money from my parents once a month. You know, maybe Federal protects their customers. We have cold words, and our voice activated with scammers will still try. They start calling me at 6 a.m. every day. Lord have mercy. Wow. Well, I'm telling you, my bank, every time uh, a transaction goes through, it pops up on my phone. And if it's something that the bank seems, to think might be suspicious, they'll shut my card down right away. Hi, Catherine. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're here nonetheless, sweetheart. So yeah, we living in some times where I tell you, you got to be careful no matter what you do. Hi, one joyful ladybug. How are you, sweetheart? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. Fonda says, my mama is a boomer. How old is your mom, Fonda? They have these things in jail for inmates. Everything is J-rocked. J-rocked. What is J-rocked? Auntie Cash App said I violated their policies, but they will not tell me what I did. This was that happened to me. That's me, Barbara. Me. You and me are Cash App twins. They will not. They told me I violated their terms, their policies. And I'm like, what did I do? And they still jailhouse rocked. Okay. And that happened to me in 21 as well, Barbara. It was 2021. Okay, your mom is 74. Okay. Okay. Well, you just a baby, Fonda. You's a baby. So yeah, I don't understand it, Barbara. You and I have the same situation. They will not let me have an account. Mr. Phillips says, I am blessed. I am 70. God bless you, honey. God bless you. I'm about to turn 63 in 8 more days. 9/11. Okay, Fonda was an only child until she was 13. Wow. When the pandemic started, I started hosting bingo games and made a lot of money doing it. So I guess that was it. I don't think that would be the problem, Barbara. I don't think that I don't think that would be it. But again, I don't know. All I know is that I didn't even hardly use my account. Don says, I am an only child, Fonda. My mom was almost 16 when she had me. Yes, the scammers do target older people. I have a I know someone whose mother was being scammed by somebody. Oh Jesus, I couldn't imagine this being my mom. But this woman thought that she was literally talking to, oh God, what is that actor's name? Liv wait, Liv Nielsen or something like that. I know, Mr. They figure we don't know no better, know no different. And we done lived our lives and we're not entitled to be happy in our final days. That's what they think. They better hope they live this long. Folk acting like that. They're shortening their own lives. But this one woman, I don't know the woman specifically. I know her daughter. And her daughter was telling me that their mom has been scammed to the point where she won't even listen to her kids. Her kids are telling her, Mom, stop talking to this person. Quit sending money to this person. This is not a real actor. This guy pretends to be a famous actor, and she thinks that she's talking to this famous actor. He's, what is those movies? The Taken? Who was the lead actor in The Taken? You guys remember that movie? There was like several of them. There was like two or three. Uh, some guy's daughter got kidnapped or something in the movie. They had a part two, part three. Live. Oh God, that's gonna mess with me now. White dude. He's a white dude. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up now. That's gonna mess with me. The Taken. Let's see. Okay, his name Liam. Thank you, Chandra. You was on it. You was on it. You and Don, you too, Barbara, all y'all. Liam Nelson, Liam Neeson, Neeson. This woman literally thinks that she's talking to Liam Neeson. Yes, I thought it was Nelson too, but it's Liam Neeson. And this woman believes that she's talking to him when he calls her. And he's scamming it. This person is, how do you, I've been scammed before. Oh, thank you, Chandra. Well, welcome, sweetheart. I enjoy having you here. Thank you so much for coming. Exactly, Fonda. What would he be needing money from somebody for? But they target these older people. They target older people, people that are not familiar with the internet, people that are not familiar with technology the way these young folks are. They don't have the skill set to even be able to put up some of the safety measures that are provided to prevent some of those hacking situations. And I don't understand how this woman is falling for that. My goodness. I'm so sorry about that, Mr. Phillips. They are using a General Hospital star now, and one lady was taken for over 100 grand, thinking oh my God. So this is a this is a normal scam that's going on where they're using well-known people or the names of well-known people perpetrating to be that person. That's some sick shit. Excuse my French. If that happened to my mama, I'm sorry. I don't. Sometimes I'm glad my grandmother ain't here. Because she would be one of those people that they would target. Yes, it is unbelievable. And see, my grandmother, she didn't know how to pay bills because she didn't have to do none of that stuff. My grandfather did all that. So when grandpa died, my dad kind of stepped in. That's a whole new story. From one scammer to the other, I guess. So she didn't know how to go. She didn't grocery shop. She didn't wash clothes. She didn't cook. She didn't clean. She didn't pay bills. She just existed. God certainly took care of her because he put people in her life to take care of her, starting with my grandfather. But when he was gone, then it was left up to me and my dad. And it was supposed to be me. And my dad got kind of peed off. What can they do with your IP address and get a credit card in your name? Yeah, they can do that. Have you contacted Experian and the other two credit agencies that monitor your credit score? You might want to notify them that this happened, and they can freeze your account. Someone was pretending to be Charlie Wilson. Girl, stop. He would have had to sing to me. I don't believe it's Uncle Charlie. Sing to me. I want 4 songs, and I need to hear each run, and they better sound exactly the way the record sounds. They froze them. Okay, good, because they can help you get that fixed. There's a program out there as well that I don't know if signing up for it right now would help you, but there's a program out there that you can sign up for that they can uh, help you monitor or go through, dig through all that stuff to get it straightened out. Because fixing it on your own is a headache. Barbara says, yes, when they call me, they came with all types of stuff, but I call them out. I'll tell, first of all, you need to learn how to speak correct English, and the government don't call you for loans. Amen to that. Thank you, Barbara. But see, you're knowledgeable. Some people do not know. Okay, good. Yes, Lawanda, you're right. They said FBI is watching them hacker. Huh. Auntie, God took care of your grandma and he's taking care of me. That's right. That's right. Well, I'm telling you, we decided we're not going to go on this cruise. It might be best for all of us as a group. It might not be that, the other people may not have that as a preference, but as a group collectively, maybe we can just take a poll. I need to learn how to do a poll. I think I can do that on my iPad. So I'll do it in my community post later. I want to take a poll and see. Well, we need to come up with 3 suggestions on where to go for our meet and greet. I'm going to bring the first one up as Vegas. And I'll take 2 more suggestions. Yeah, we need to do a poll, Wanda. Figure out where we want to go for our meet and greet since we're not going to do the cruise. I'll suggest Vegas as one alternative. Oh my goodness, Barbara, they start calling you for doing a reverse mortgage. Atlantic City, Dallas, Texas. I knew Fonda was going to say Niagara Falls. Okay, so guess what? I'm going to write these down. And the majority will win. We're going to go Vegas, Niagara Falls, Dallas, and Atlantic City. And I think one other person suggested Disneyland. One other person suggested Disneyland. Yeah, Rose, we got Vegas down. So I'm going to add Disneyland because I can't remember who it was, but someone suggested Disneyland as an alternative. So tonight I'm going to do a poll, and I'm sure a whole bunch of other people are going to probably jump in and try to. I wish I knew how to do a poll in this live stream. I don't know how to do that. Disneyland or Disney World? Yeah, well, Disneyland is California, Disney World is Florida. So we got to do something that everybody can get to. Vegas seems to be the most centralized one in the States in terms of circumference from East Coast to West Coast. Disneyland or Disney World? It's got to be one or the other. So it's got to be either or. But anyway, we'll get down to it. We'll get down to it and we'll come up with a decision as to where we're going to go. I choose Vegas too, Barbara. I choose Vegas too. Because it's cheaper to go there, believe it or not. The hotels are cheaper. The flights are cheaper. Even the food. The food can be cheaper. You said that last night. What'd you say last night, Fonda? All I saw was Niagara Falls. Okay. Okay, so Fonda, you say Vegas as well? So we got 3, 4. Yes. So we've got about 4 or 5 people already saying Vegas. What about the slot machine there? What are you talking about, Mr. Phillips? The ones in Vegas? They work this like anyone else's. But yeah, we why don't we do that? We will plan to go to Vegas. That's it. Decision made. No cruise, Vegas. We got plenty of time to plan it. We just got to figure out what part of the year we want to go. Because Vegas, Vegas is hell hot in the summer. Is they tight like Oklahoma? I don't know how Oklahoma's is tight, but I know Vegas is pretty good. I didn't do too bad in Vegas. I didn't play that much, but yeah, I did. But I didn't play more than I should have. Mother's Day 2026. That might be a problem. That might be a problem because some of us have to be around for our families for Mother's Day. But we'll figure something out. Maybe the family can come down there with us. Yes, October is the best weather, especially for Vegas. If you don't want to, Yes, Fonda, we do. We got to stick together. Valentine's Day is a good time. That's in February. And that shouldn't be too hot. I just don't want to go oh my God, when you go in the middle of the summer, it's like, oh. I went on the 4th of July. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was gonna die. I rented me one of them scooters. I scooted everywhere. I refused to walk. Hell heat. Yes, hell heat. Hot as fish grease. We know how hot fish grease is. Easter. Oh, I can't go for Easter, Fonda. You know, Pastor ain't letting me go nowhere on Easter. I got to be at church with him. You know, that's the Lord's day. I ain't being funny, but you know how that is. It's still too hot. Yeah, you understand, Fonda. Uncle ain't letting me go nowhere on a religious holiday. No, my wife is going to be at church with me on Easter. The Lord knows I love him no matter where I am. That's right, Lawanda. Flag Day. That's as good a day as any to me. That's any day to me. I mean, Flag Day, we. But hey, let me get started. I didn't run my mouth too much. But yes, so Vegas it's gonna be. And we will come to a conclusion as to when. Fall. Yes, fall is a good time. Mr. Phillips, yes, Halloween, that's in the fall. So yes, I think fall would be a very appropriate time, considering it's Vegas and it's hot as fish grease in Vegas. So we will plan on that, and I'll let Jess know as well. I'll let Charles know because Charles he said he's down for Vegas. I know Jess will be down for Vegas, and it'll be easier to arrange. I think you know we can get the room, the hotel. We can get a package. You know, maybe get a discount. Mother Jones will get you if she looks down and don't see you in church. Yeah, Miss Camille. Mama's gonna have to sit up there and be mad. Chandra, no, actually, it's not just for members. It's for anybody that wants to come, love. Not this October coming up, Fonda. Mm-mm. I need way more time than that to plan. So that's again why we may need to discuss a different month or something. $90 to fly there. Depending on where you're flying from. So yeah, I think we're gonna do fine. I think it's all we gotta do is get a hotel that will offer us a package deal depending on how many people we have coming, and we'll get a special rate on each room. Okay, from Texas. Chandra is officially a kinfolk. Yes, Chandra is kinfolk. I thought about making it for members, but I was like, no. AARP card. So yeah, there's different things that I would like to do for the membership, like what I just did for the book. I released the book to the membership. And I'll have to come up with other ideas to reward the membership. But a trip, a meet and greet for all my kinfolk, I can't. Oh, bless your heart, Chandra. I just can't just say, oh, well, you can't go because you're not a member. That's kind of corny to me. I, uh, That's cringe to me. It's not it's not being genuine. I just can't do people like that. Oh no, well you can't come because you're not a member. Stop. Be grateful people want to go anywhere with you. Oh my goodness. But hey, we're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. In the meantime, let me talk about this old president of ours. Bless his little failing heart. I don't mean to sound mean or anything like that, but the man is definitely not well. So, but what I wanted to talk about is y'all remember what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Y'all remember her? Old blondie over there in the what is she, a senator or in the House? I can't remember. She's something else. I've never really cared for her. But she's been an all outright Republican, and that's fine. Whoever you want to look, if you want to be a Democrat, if you want to be a Republican, that's your business. I just don't. I measure people's character on how they treat people and how they behave. Yes, she's a congresswoman, and she's always had a really nasty, nasty attitude. You know, so I never really cared too much for her. However, hi, Urban. How are you, my love? We'll talk about what we were just talking about in a few minutes after we do this. We're not going to go on a cruise, Urban. We're going to go to Vegas. So, just giving you a heads up on that one. But Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually publicly defied Trump. Publicly. She one of them MAGA people. Trump he couldn't do no wrong in her eyes. None. Yes, bad built body. As per Jasmine Crockett. The bleach blonde, bad built body. That's right. I got a video when they were doing that dance. I have a video a long time ago that I did. But this is just how crazy it's gotten in the Trump administration. When when your most loyal MAGA people are turning on you. And I wouldn't even say she's turning. She's just standing up for what's right in this particular case. And that is, ain't nothing like the BBB. She is basically standing up for Epstein survivors. The Trump dance. But the thing is that it makes perfect sense that this man campaigned. They're turning on him big time, Barbara. MAGA people, not just the Republicans, but the MAGA. MAGA is a whole different breed of Republican. They're like they on another wing of the hotel. They have to stay on another wing. It's like going to jail or something, going to prison. They've got their general population, Gen Pop, and then they've got the ones over there that can't get out but for an hour a day. Absolutely, Barbara. She wants to be reelected. But I honestly believe that people, when it comes down to this Epstein situation, people have finally understood, at least most people. You was cutting up on TikTok. Okay, Urban. Because Trump campaigned on this promise that he would release those Epstein files. And now that he is president, he has not done so and is going to great lengths to keep from doing so. He's getting a lot of pushback from others that you wouldn't think would push back. Exactly. So apparently she was asked about this. I'm going to share my video. This was um, this was a rally. These were Jeffrey Epstein survivors and lawmakers who were calling for full files on the case to be released. Fond. Um, and these are all bipartisan people. These are not just Democrats. They're not just Republicans. They're not just independents. They're a congregation of people of like-minded. Uh, they want to know what the heck is going on with these Epstein files. Yes, they did, and I'm about to play that, Barbara. Um, it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't really realize, and I may be wrong, but those files are not gonna. It's not the files so much. There is no list. Now that's the part that people don't understand. There's no actual list of people that were, you know, doing the nasty with them girls. They don't have an actual list, but there are civil court documents. Unfortunately, a lot of those have been redacted, but a lot of information is in those court documents. Okay? I'll let this play. Hold on just a second.
Partisans, we're here as patriots. We begin the work of bringing this country together, progressives, independents, moderates, and yes, MAGA supporters, to demand truth and justice. A nation that allows rich and powerful men to traffic and abuse young girls without consequence is a nation that has lost its moral and spiritual core. Americans are asking a very simple question. How is it possible that in the richest, most powerful country in the world, there are corrupt special interest forces, both foreign or domestic, that are preventing the release, that have a stranglehold on our government and are preventing the release of the full Epstein files?
Here we go with these ads.
There is something that is rotten in Washington. Less than 1% of these files have been released. We are demanding today on the discharge petition that all of the files be released. We know we have 212 Democrats and we have 4 Republicans, courageous Republicans like Thomas Massey, Nancy Mace, who was so emotional yesterday after talking to the survivors, Congresswoman Boebert, and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. We need just 2 more signatures to force the release.
Now, this is all for signatures to this petition to release these files. This is just for a petition. They got to jump through all these hoops just to get a petition circulated, and they're still lacking in signatures for that. But he just mentioned Margie Taylor Greene is one of the people that are going to be signing this petition. Hi, Down South Stitcher. Hello, my love. You know what, Faith? You're right about that. Both you and Barbara, both of your statements are correct. Barbara says they were the girls at the time from 13 to 16. They were upset about Trump, calling it a hoax, and the DOJ giving Ghislaine Maxwell, a easy prison to serve her time in. And you know what? That's just it. They put her in. It might as well have been a five-star hotel, just so she would say, "Oh, I don't. No, no, he wasn't there. Oh no. Well, what are you in jail for? If none of this stuff went down." Hello, Cora. Hello, sweetie. So I give them those four Republican women right there that are signing this petition. I give them props, even though I'm not a big fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's, yeah, you know what I call her. They says they are all the same, trying to make us think they are different, no different, just like Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky thing. And we know what he was doing. Mm-hmm. We know what Mr. Clinton was doing with Monica all up under that desk. But you know, it's funny how you can tell when somebody is calculating and they know that they're going to do something later. For Monica to hold on to that dress, for Monica to hold on to that dress with that nasty stain on it, I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible. She held on to that for a reason. Yes, Maxwell was a major part of Epstein's dirty work. As a matter of fact, she was a major participant. She engaged in real nasty things along with those men, with those girls. She's a nasty thing. And I'm not going to say allegedly because it's all part of the court documentation. She was dipping in the do with them girls. Yeah, Trump slept with her. I think Trump slept with all of them, to be honest with you. Faye says, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene is out because she was embarrassed by Jasmine Crockett, and she's mad at the Republicans because they didn't do anything to Jasmine for embarrassing her. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with this position, or this petition. She's gonna, she's gonna sign this petition, no matter. It has nothing to do with Jasmine Crockett. Unfortunately, Jasmine Crockett hasn't signed it yet. Maybe she should sign it too. Yes, she recruited them and had sex with them. They were having threesomes. Hi, Miss Purple. Hello, Mickey and others. Been down for a couple of days. Had surgery last Thursday. Recovering good. God is so amazing. Oh, I am so glad you're doing good, sweetheart. I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, now Jasmine might have insulted Marjorie Taylor Greene, but that has nothing to do with getting justice for those victims. Yes, she does want to be reelected, and this would be a major thing that would get her reelected. Lawanda says, does sex play a part in everything for it to go right? I'm not sure what your question means, honey. But in this country, yeah, it seems to be the case. No matter what it is, sex always got something to do with something. Think about it. Everything. Just a bunch of nasty peepers. I mean, does the world have to put that in all They do. That's what it seems like. But spiritually, that's all part of it. That's all par for the course spiritually. Yeah, that's why she's going against Trump and the Republicans. Bleach blonde, bad built, bush body. But you know what? She's not the only. She's not the only Republican. She's standing tall with MAGA people. She's standing. She's standing with other MAGA people that are against Trump and his pushback on this particular subject, and that's the Epstein files. Hello, Lennis. How's it going, sweetie? Charles, you said Miami, Florida. Is that one of your? Are you suggesting that we meet up in Miami, Florida? Because actually, we already decided we're gonna go to Vegas. Anyway, let me get back to this video.
So we gather here on the steps of the Capitol to confront these corrupt forces. Today, we stand with survivors. We stand against big money. We stand to protect America's children. That is really what this is about. I now want to bring up my Republican colleague, Thomas Massie. He has shown so much courage, so much leadership. And I saw some people, I say the same thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has shown so much courage on this issue. I saw some people when I was coming here calling her names. We've got to stop that. We've got to stop the partisanship on this issue. This is an issue where they both have shown real courage and leadership, and I appreciate them joining us today. Congressman Massie.
I want to thank my colleague Ro Khanna for co-leading this effort to bring transparency and justice for these victims. I hope my colleagues are watching this press conference. I want them to think, what if this was your sister? What if this was your daughter? When these survivors speak, the Washington establishment is asking the American public to believe something that is not believable. They're asking you to believe that two individuals created hundreds of victims and they acted alone, and that the DOJ has no idea of who else might have been involved, that nobody else did anything that rose to a criminal enterprise. The American people know that's not true. Now, the Speaker of the House just offered a fig leaf to my colleagues. They're going to vote on a non-binding resolution today that does absolutely nothing. I appreciate the efforts of my colleague, James Comer, who's leading the Oversight Committee. They may find some information, but they're allowing the DOJ to curate all of the information that the DOJ is giving them. If you've looked at the pages they've released so far, they're heavily redacted. Some pages are entirely redacted. And 97% of this is already in the public domain. So I'm calling on my colleagues.
And remember, I was telling you, they're going to have to get a lot of the information that they want. They're going to have to get it from the civil files. They're going to need to get that information from civil files, because all that information redacted, all those names redacted. But if they go to the civil files, they're going to get more information as to what transpired in those Epstein files. So that's where the focus needs to be. A lot of people don't realize that, a bunch of FBI files is one thing, but the civil case is where they're going to find the information that they want to see. Mr. Phillips said, "Hey, Auntie, did you hear about that guy who slept with his stepdaughter and had a baby from her? She was 10 years old." No. Ew. Oh, no, I didn't hear about that one. Maybe you can email me about that story. This story is a bit off topic from what we're talking about now, but I'm interested to hear more about it. So if you could, email that to me, and I'll look into it. Okay.
Be one of the next two who sponsors this discharge petition. I think it's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real.
Yes,
There
it
are
is.
real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C.
Okay, Mr. Phillips, my email address. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat, okay? Okay, there it goes, sweetheart. Faith says they are all in it together. Why do you think they go into these positions that only pay 150K to 200K a year, and in 4 years they're millionaires? The math ain't math. I've always recognized that, Faith. I have yet to see one broke politician. They don't exist. They go into politics not just to they may in the beginning want to do the right thing for their constituents, but as time goes by, it's all about the fun. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. That's what it all boils down to. And how do I keep my job? What do I do to keep my job? Point blank, period. Let me skip forward and see if I can get some of these. Oh, here we got.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, you guys want a
Hold
fence
on.
that is never going to rot. It is never going to warp or change shape.
My 5th year in Congress, and this is the largest press conference that I've seen since I've been here. And this is because this is an issue that matters so much to Americans. This is an issue that doesn't have political boundaries. It's an issue that Republicans and Democrats should never fight about. As a matter of fact, it's such an important issue that it should bring us all together. It's grieved me to watch the arguments and debates take place among my colleagues and even the administration. I think this is something that was worth fighting for. You see, the women behind me are going to tell you stories that you've never heard before. These are unimaginable horrors that they've lived with for their entire lives since they were very, very young. But these are also similar stories that many children, teenagers, women, and even men are enduring nightmares right now as we speak. You see, these women have been fighting since the 1990s. I heard one woman tell us yesterday since 1996, and they have carried with them shame. But I want to tell you something. The shame does not fall on these brave, courageous women. The shame falls on every single person that coldly turned a blind eye to their abuse. The shame falls on every single person that enabled it. The shame falls on every single person that took money to continue it. And the shame falls on the people in power over the past several decades that protected the monster, Jeffrey Epstein, and his cabal that continued a nightmare. Those people deserve the shame. And today we are coming forward and we are going to fight like hell for these women, because we have to fight like hell for those that are enduring sexual abuse and are living in a prison of shame. Anyone that is being abused, it is not your fault. You should live with no guilt or fear or shame. All of the fault belongs to the evil people that do these things to the innocent. This is the most important fight we can wage here in Congress, is fighting for innocent people that never receive justice. And the women behind me have never received justice. And do you want to know why? It's because Jeffrey Epstein somehow was able to walk among the most rich, powerful people, not only in America, but foreign countries. Yesterday, I heard countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and even Israel, and other countries. The truth needs to come out, and the government holds the truth. The cases that are sealed hold the truth. Jeffrey Epstein's estate holds the truth. The FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA holds the truth. And the truth we are demanding come out on behalf of these women, but also as a strong message to every innocent child, teenager, woman, and man.
Scorpio, thank you so much for the gifted 10 memberships. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, my love. Anyone that receives membership from Scorpio, please, 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 please thank her in the comment section. Please comment and in the chat, thank her immensely. I thank you so much, sweetheart. Scorpio boy, I tell you, she is one of the greatest supporters on YouTube. I got to give it to her. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, Faith just said she's only on this side because she feels like she was betrayed by her party for a black woman. Jasmine made her look like a fool. That may be true, Faith, but there can be two things true at the same time. There's a possibility that maybe, just maybe, she is 10 toes down for this situation. Maybe she has once been a victim. We don't know why people do what they do. I know that this woman has been, in the past, the most unreasonable woman in politics, in my opinion. She was a barracuda, but she's still a woman. She may have, and I'm not saying that's the case, but she may have just been a victim at one point in time herself. You know what I'm saying? And that I don't think Jasmine Crockett has anything to do with what this woman may have endured in her past. We don't know what people have gone through in their lives. We don't. And when something like this comes up, it sits on a nerve. You know what I'm saying? But you're correct. Jasmine did make her look like a fool. That she did. Rightfully so. Well, I don't know if she looks like a victim. I'm not saying that she's been victimized recently. I'm just saying it's possible that she could have been victimized in the past. Because this is what this is about. They're out there speaking on behalf of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and those people, what she called a cabal of rich, prosperous people that have victimized these young women that were once young girls. Now, who's to say, and I'm not saying this is the case, but who's to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't once a young lady who was victimized by an older man? We don't know. We don't know why people flip the way they do.
That is being held captive in abuse. This should never happen in America.
Scorpio, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so much, my love. They put that up there as well. You are so sweet. Oh, okay, Rose, I misunderstood. I thought those were question marks at the end of your sentence. She really looks like a victim, and it's possible. I'm just saying that's a possibility.
And it should never be a political issue that divides us. And I want to thank Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey for doing something brave, crossing political boundaries for a very important fight. And I'm honored to join both of them. And I'm honored that Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert signed the discharge petition along with myself. And I asked my Republican colleagues not to choose just one path for justice and transparency and accountability, but I asked my Republican colleagues to choose every path for justice and accountability and transparency. And with that, I'd like to bring back Congressman Ro Khanna to start this important press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congresswoman Green, for your courage and for being here. And thank you again to Congressman Massey for co-leading it. I now would like to introduce two people who have been fighting this for decades. They haven't had their voice heard.
We are one of the largest and most trusted heating and air conditioning companies here in the area. We have an inventory.
The victims haven't been heard. They haven't just been on this in the last few months. They've been.
Okay, I'm not sure if I want to hear all these other people talk. I would like to hear one or two of the victims speak, because we hear enough from politicians as it is. Let me see. Let me see who this is.
Far greater protection than any of the victims that he abused for years. In 2008, Courtney Wild walked into my office because she was a part of a federal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, where all she wanted was the government to talk to her. Little did she know the government had worked out a secret immunity deal for Jeffrey Epstein, and we had to file Jane Doe's versus United States of America to prove that Jeffrey Epstein worked out an illegal non-prosecution agreement with the government. That was 2008. It took us 10 years battling the government pro bono for the judge to ultimately determine that the victims' rights were violated. The government has mistreated them after Jeffrey Epstein mistreated them. We then filed civil lawsuits against Ghislaine Maxwell, which has resulted in her being in prison. Our civil lawsuits led to her prosecution.
Faith, you right about that. Faith said they kissed his boots and he kicked them in the face. Fake. These are all the Republicans that turned on Trump. I'm just saying. Absolutely. And there's going to be more than that before all is said and done. But you can't keep on doing dirt to people and expecting to get away with it. God don't like ugly. Ain't too fond of pretty. Okay, let me see if I can fast forward. I know he's speaking on behalf of a victim. And I think it's imperative that we hear from the victims, not from the politicians.
Under the law. If you care about these women, flying colors. I really appreciate everybody being here.
Okay, let me hear from one of the victims. If she won, I can't tell.
Good morning. My name is Brittany Henderson, and I think in addition to thanking the wonderful congressmen and women who are here today, we need to thank the women, and not just the women who are going to speak.
Thank you, Mr.
The other
Phillips.
women who are standing behind them, along with other lawyers, Sigrid McCauley, and people who have been fighting for a very, very long time for the world to give this kind of attention to an issue that it should have had forever. This administration has the opportunity to do what the past administrations did not do. This administration can either stand with the victims and stand for the victims, or it can continue to hurt the victims like has happened in the past. We aren't here just to ask for transparency, though.
Okay, she's not a victim.
My name is
This is
Anushka
a victim.
DiGiorgio, and I stand before you today as a survivor of both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
That's what I want to hear.
I want to thank Congressman Massey and Khanna for their role in putting together this very, very important bill. Every day of this journey toward healing has come at a profound cost to my mental health. But I am here. I chose to come because this bill really matters. I speak today not only in service of my own recovery from trauma inflicted by Maxwell and Epstein, but to honor the lives, the courage and sacrifices of Virginia Giuffre, Caroline Andriano, and others who could not continue. Their voices mattered. Their stories must not be forgotten. Accountability is what makes a society civilized. Equal opportunity and equal consequence for all. Consequences are not about punishment alone. They exist to deter future harm, to protect vulnerable, and to set a standard of justice. If Ghislaine Maxwell were pardoned, it would undermine all the sacrifices I made to testify and make mockery of mine and all survivors' suffering. That is why the Epstein Files Transparency Act is so essential. It requires the Department of Justice release all the records related to Epstein and Maxwell investigations, flight logs, immunity deals, internal communications, and even the records surrounding Epstein's detention and death. And crucially, it forbids withholding documents simply because of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. This is about ending secrecy wherever abuse of power takes root. But transparency alone is not enough. Survivors need protection, resources, and legal support. If this Congress is serious about justice, then let this moment also affirm your commitment to provide victims with the legal aid they need to confront abusers, to navigate complex systems, and to reclaim their power. Transparency must be matched by support, or else too many victims will remain silent out of fear and lack of access. The statistics demand action. Nearly 1 in 5 women in America will experience rape or attempted rape in her lifetime. Every 74 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted. Every 9 minutes, that person is a child. These are not numbers, they are people. They are your daughters, your sons, your constituents, your friends. Statistically, 1 in 5 of your families will face this nightmare. The days of sweeping this under the rug are over. We, the survivors, say no more. I want to help create a world where survivors of sexual abuse and abuse of power can come forward safely. And I ask Congress to join me in that effort, not only by passing this bill, but by ensuring that those who step forward have legal support to face their abusers and see justice done. When Judge Berman gave Epstein survivors the chance to finally speak, the world listened. After so many years, survivors were heard. That moment was historic, and so is this moment. For me, the turning point was when I had my daughter, and on the day she was born, I knew I had a responsibility to protect her and to protect all children. I have to use my voice, the voice that had been silenced by fear and shame for so many years. Make no mistake, my polished exterior is a shield hiding a wound that still bleeds. But through this wound, I have found purpose. To be part of lasting change in how we confront exploitation and abuse. And to be clear, the only motive for opposing this bill would be to conceal wrongdoing.
Okay. I think I've had enough of that. We get the gist of that. However, there is some more information I did want to. Okay, this one is a little bit more in depth. Let me roll this back. Let me share this. I didn't know I had this up twice.
And it's because of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, Donald Trump in the past has been able to intimidate his way out of problems. He has been able to force his Republicans into submission. He has been able to get his cultists to fall in line. But not only is that not the case with the MAGA base, it's also not the case with MAGA Republicans in Congress who aren't just speaking out against Donald Trump, but are going against his very wishes and moving forward with making these Epstein files public. And the most surprising of them all has been Marjorie Taylor Greene, who Donald Trump is now literally going to war with and threatening after what she just said. We're going to get into it all in the White House's insane reaction that leaked. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way.
Okay, let me skip all that.
Epstein.
This is all about the ego of the man who lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You guys think you work for Trump.
Audio as an input modality.
You're obsessed with him. It's pathetic. Republicans are ruining this institution, Mr. Speaker, destroying this institution. Again, let me repeat, every single Republican on the Rules Committee voted against releasing the Epstein files. Every single one. I mean, we heard last night that all Republicans want full transparency, but that's just not true. Let me read you a quote from the top Republican in this country, President Donald J. Trump. This is what he says about the Epstein files, and I quote, "It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats and some stupid Republicans," end quote. And at a press availability just minutes ago, the president again said that this is all a hoax. Now, what do Republicans think of that? Donald Trump says this is all a hoax.
Yeah, I knew he was going to target her as well because she's been one of his biggest proponents, but now she's up against him. So, of course, he's going to target her. Faith says when it comes to the government, everyone gets shoved one way or the other. That's true. That's true.
And if you want to release the files, you're stupid. Now, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that the guy who once called Epstein a, quote, terrific guy, and who Epstein considered his, quote, closest friend, is not actually interested in getting to the truth.
It is just so embarrassing the way Republicans continuously debase themselves, all in service of Donald Trump. They are so weak and so ineffective. These are people who talk about strength and masculinity and being manly, but somehow, some way, they always find themselves bending the knee to a reality TV host who they are terrified of tweeting at them. Like, that is the reality that it boils down to. They will not do their jobs. They do not have values because Donald Trump might send out a mean post on an obscure social media site used to funnel funds into Donald Trump's mini criminal schemes. That's it. That is the explanation. And that's why it's been so surprising to see Republicans like Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace decide that they've had enough as it relates to the Epstein files. That's what we saw from Marjorie Taylor Greene when she spoke out today. And then I want to get into Donald Trump's insane threat.
All of the fault belongs to the evil people that do these things to the innocent. This is the most important fight we can wage here in Congress, is fighting for innocent people that never receive justice. And the women behind me have never received justice. And do you want to know why? It's because Jeffrey Epstein somehow was able to walk among the most rich, powerful people, not only in America, but foreign countries. Yesterday, I heard countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and even Israel, and other countries. The truth needs to come out.
Republicans who signed Massie's discharge petition telling me it would be viewed as a very hostile act to the administration. Full statement. Helping Thomas Massie and liberal Democrats with their attention seeking while the DOJ is supporting a more comprehensive file release effort from the Oversight Committee would be viewed as a very hostile act towards the administration. They're calling it a hostile act to fight for transparency, the very thing that this administration claims that they support. And we are now hearing from Congressman Robert Garcia, the ranking member on the Oversight Committee, that there is a pressure campaign and threats are being sent out to Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Thomas Massie, not just primary challenges, but all forms of intimidation against these Republican figures who are willing to join Democrats. Mind you, this is not a Republican fight. This is not happening because of these 10 Republicans. This is happening because of Democrats. Republicans, some of them, a few of them, not nearly enough of them, and that's a problem that we should be talking about, are coming along to join Democrats. And that terrifies the White House. That terrifies Donald Trump because he thought, with a little recess and a little time off and maybe a distraction here or there, some red meat for the base, that they would just move on. But that is not happening, especially because we continue to talk about it. And Democrats like Jared Moskowitz bring attention like he did right here.
I'm being very polite, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing this afternoon, but I can assure you that...
But there's the free speech hearing. You're not going to tell me what you're doing this afternoon?
Free speech is one thing, discretion's quite another, too.
Okay. All right, so you're leaving to have lunch with the president. So Mr. Farage, I have a question. Have you heard about the Epstein thing that's going on here?
I have.
You have. What do you think about it?
I'm not going to give comment on anything happening in America. I'm here as a witness.
Perfect.
I'm here as a witness.
I'm
here as a witness for what is happening in the United Kingdom and in the European.
Perfect. Let me just go through it. So it's been 9 months, right, since we've been meeting in these hearings. We've not had Pam Bondi here, even though we have jurisdiction over the Department of Justice. Not Dan Bondi.
The gentleman yield.
Not Kash Patel. I will 100%. We'll go back and forth. Let me just do my thing.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to correct. Kash Patel's coming in I'll give you an extra 10 seconds. Kash Patel, Director of FBI, is coming in 2 weeks, and the Attorney General's coming in 4 weeks.
Fantastic. But still, we're not doing that this week. The week we're having votes on the Epstein thing. So, Pam Bondi gives the influencers, these Republican influencers, a binder. It says Part 1 of the Epstein files. No one ever saw it. It was quite spectacular. The Attorney General then says the Epstein list is on her desk. Then DOJ issues a memo, says there is no list. Then, do you have any questions about any of that? We've had no hearings on any of that.
Isn't it funny that first this woman said it was right on her desk, and the next thing you know, she says there was no file. And they're playing, just like y'all said, they playing right in our faces. They're playing right there in our faces, like we don't have good eyes and ears to understand what's going on. Fonda says, yes, did you hear him? He said, this is all your fault, Democrat.
At all, that, the list is on my desk, then there is no list, then we gave binders to Republican influencers. This committee said no questions on any of how that transpired at the Department of Justice. Then hold on.
Well, it sounds like you're going to in the next few weeks.
Oh,
So that's a jolly good thing.
Mr. Farage, we can talk soon, but not yet. Okay.
Right.
So, then the president comes out and says the whole thing's a hoax. He blasts his own base. He blames Barack Obama. I mean, he hasn't been president for a very long time. Republicans then in committee vote against the release in the Rules Committee. Then Republicans refuse to go back in the Rules Committee because...
Don't you find it ironic that everything Trump wants to attack is Obama related? This man has had a deep-seated hatred for Barack Obama for years. Exactly, Barbara. She was voted out because she stood up to Massa. Everybody ain't down with Massa. And we're gonna start seeing a little bit of that happen in this administration as well. But I just thought it's very ironic that Trump has come in and has vowed to tear down everything that Barack Obama did. Now that he's sick, I'm just gonna say what it is. The man ain't well. We done all figured that. We got eyes we can see. And he is literally going hella high water to tear down everything Obama has done. Everything.
Because they're getting blasted for their vote, getting crushed by their own base. Congress leaves a day early. Then the administration sends the deputy attorney general to meet with Maxwell in jail. He happens to be Trump's former personal attorney. She says something favorable about the president. Miraculously, she gets transferred to a minimum security prison. The president starts talking about how he has the right to pardon her if he wanted to. The leaks to the Wall Street Journal then stop. We come back from break. We have the Massey petition. Comer does a document dump where 97% of these documents are already public. How long has he had those documents? Why hasn't he released them for the last?
Barbara says he thinks Obama was in charge while Biden was president. And you know, we know better than that. Come on. Liz Cheney is not a sellout. She really stood for the people, Republican or not. And I agree. That's why she ain't there now. Hi, Benjamin. It's just ironic. It's all so very ironic.
6 weeks does it the day of the vote. Then Republicans drop a non-binding resolution trying to kill the Massey discharge petition. The White House said passing the Massey discharge petition is a hostile act. Wow.
Hey guys, this is Senator John Ossoff in Georgia, and please hear me out because I'm the only Democratic senator.
That's a lot of distraction and deflection and misinformation. Wait, passing a discharge petition to release the Epstein files, the White House said would be a hostile act. Nope, we have no questions about that. But why? Why is it that we're spending so much political capital to keep this list from coming out? You think the list should come out? You think we should know the people who dealt with Mr. Epstein, Mr. Farage?
I thought I was coming to a hearing on free speech, not process.
Oh, but listen, but here's the
And
good.
that sounds like you're discussing process.
No. Do you think the list should come out?
I have no opinion on it. I don't know at all.
So we have victims that were sexually abused by potentially people in power, and we don't know who's on the list.
I'm very happy.
Hold on, Mr. Fresh. We don't know who's on the list. We don't know who's on the list.
Okay, this is where this dude is kind of getting off track. I know he has a point to prove, but prove it with somebody more reputable. This man is not here for that purpose, and he's starting to make himself look stupid.
We don't know if the president is or is not. I'm not going to say he is or isn't. I'm just going to say these are weird behaviors. We don't know that there aren't other people in Congress that are on the list, right? We have no idea. Do you think the list should come out? You think people in power should be held to account for these victims who have been sexually abused and assaulted? You think the list should come out?
I think that I'm very happy to come to a different hearing where you talk about legal process.
Okay.
But
Will the gentleman yield for a quick question?
will.
Were you aware that he has already called for the Epstein file to be released? It has been reported that he has called for it to be released.
Oh yeah, right here, just to refresh your memory.
Yeah, but
I happen to have this.
But that's not
How
what
random.
But that is not. Look, you can ask me if you like about
Do you agree
social
with
security
yourself?
policy.
Do you agree with
We are
yourself?
here- we are here to discuss free speech.
Hold on, it's awkward for your lunch after this? Do you agree with yourself?
No, it isn't at all.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'm just curious. This committee has jurisdiction over the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Why have we allowed Comer to cover this up for the last couple of months?
As I said,
We always say that every Republican accusation is really an admission of the truth about themselves, but never has that been clearer than with the Epstein files, that Republicans are cozied up to the elites, that Republicans are protecting the interests of the rich, the wealthy, and the well-off at all times, not just cutting them big tax breaks, but making sure that their crimes go unnoticed, and not unpersecuted, no, not unreviewed, unnoticed, that they keep them in the dark for them, while at the same time, as mass thugs patrol your streets in your neighborhood, harassing your friends, members of your community, for simply existing. That is the difference. The rich, they get to live in the shadowy criminal world that they want, as Donald Trump writes them big tax cuts to pay for their crimes. And you get patrolled by Palantir and ICE for simply dropping your kids off at school. That's it. They're going to watch every step you take, monitor your internet usage. If you say a bad word about dear leader, they'll knock on your door.
Amen to that. Okay, so Benjamin said, so why was Obama talking with Trump at Carter's funeral like they were best friends? And it was Trump leading the conversation. At that, you know what I think. Trump is in awe of Obama and it bothers him. And I would have to agree to that. I honestly believe he knows Obama is intellectually more superior to him. Like you just said, Benjamin. And you know what that means to me? Trump has always been racist. I'm sorry. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Not allegedly, but he don't care for black people unless they got money. Bottom line. He ain't trying to tear down nobody else. Not like he did Obama. But now that conversation that we all saw during that funeral, that let me know that they're all that statement you put right there, Benjamin. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about that situation. Because when I peeped that, I was like, you know what? They all corrupt. Both sides of the fence. Democrat, Republican, it don't matter. It's just like two attorneys. One for the defense, one for the prosecution. And they both go into court and they fight each other on a particular case. And then when the case is over, they go outside and go have drinks. He likes money. Exactly. But money don't have no color but green. I believe he does like white people because he is white, Faith. But that brother that sat in that office for 2 terms didn't have not one scandal. Not one scandal. The worst thing that they could say about Obama was that he wore a tan suit. That's the best they could come up with. But that's what they do. The politics is dirty. It's a dirty, dirty business. And that's exactly what it is. It's a business. Do you know any politicians that are broke? I haven't. Not a one. Not a one politician is broke. Yeah, he knew better than to mess with Michelle. Because truth be told, let the record show, Michelle is smarter than Barack. Now. But they couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle that. Yeah, Faith. That has to do with finances. That's about money. So that's basically that. The more I talk about these things, the more it pisses me off. But where did I have that last video? It really at this point doesn't even make sense to pull it up, because I think the point has been made. Now we've got people out here trying to analyze Trump's body language and all this stuff to see if he's really sick. I don't care about his body language. I can look at the man and see that he's sick. I can see the moves that he's making. I can see the moves that he's making to see what he's all about. So stay tuned, because this is going to get uglier. It's going to get uglier. You know, it's going to get uglier. So let me go on to this next topic. Diary of a Man. Ain't that the truth? Honey, look. Trump would have been the one in the hot tub. I don't think he is either, Benjamin. I don't think he is. I don't think he's gonna last. I'm not wishing that him. I'm not wishing that on him. But we all got eyes and we can see. We all have eyes. We all have plain and common sense. That man is not well. And he's making moves out there out of desperation. He's making very desperate, spur of the moment moves. Ain't that the truth, Barbara? All it takes is one good aim. Don't you get out of line. Yes, he did. He left Michelle alone. Absolutely. So, next thing I need to talk about, I kind of pondered over this and I really wasn't sure if I even wanted to address it. But I felt the need to. I have one other topic that I want to talk about. And I'm not sure if... Yes, Charles, I saw that. Florida is ending vaccination for kids. I saw that. That's going to be a discussion for another day, because there are a lot of people divided on that situation. So we need to really look at pros and cons about all that. You know, some people are against vaccinations, some people are for them. You know, I don't know, LaWanda. I don't know who came up with that one. So there is a content creator on YouTube right now that I had come to really enjoy watching. Everything is AI, real cute little AI videos of Kirsty. And but some things have been happening lately that I'm kind of confused about. And you know, I tend not to, I don't get involved with beefs between other content creators. So that's not what this is. Uh-oh, what happened here? Come back here, camera. Oh, here we go. Ain't this a blip? What happened here? Okay. Where was I? Is Lady Letitia in here? I didn't see her come in. Where's my girl? Hi, Lady Letitia. Hi, sweetheart. You skirted right by me. I did not see you. How you doing, my love? So getting back to what I was about to say, I generally enjoyed, for the most part, I enjoyed dropping the T, Kirsty. And hi, Retretta. Hello, sweetheart. Hello. Charles said it could get deadly in here. Not really. But what I wanted to address is that there's an issue going on between dropping the T and Danny Robertson that I am not going to talk about directly. That's none of my business between them. But something is kind of bothering me. And don't get me wrong, I like her little videos. They were cute when she was the little, I'm covering the T on all these different situations within the YouTube streets. Okay. Kind of reminded me of Rona Barrett, if any of y'all remember the Hollywood gossip columnists back in the day. And her little thing was, I'm not involved with that Benjamin, so I'm not gonna talk about that. What I'm gonna talk about is something that I'm seeing that has nothing really to do with what they're doing. Okay, that's not what I was gonna say, but okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of slow. Okay, but here's my thing, and you guys, I'm not trying to make this about race or anything like that, but this is where I got kind of confused, because at first this was, dropping the T, it was informational. This happened here, this happened there. No sides were actually taken as far as what I would see. The commentary was non-biased as far as I was concerned. It was delivered in such a way that it was just delivered the way it went down. But then over time, I'm starting to see some bias. Yeah, that may be true, Faith. But here's what I'm trying to get. Exactly. This is where I'm trying to get. And again, maybe I'm slow, but I always thought I was looking at a little white girl, that was, because of the avatar. I'm looking at the avatar and the diction, how the avatar spoke. And then I saw her actual picture on King Payne's platform and her speech, and I was really shocked, because I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this was a little an American Caucasian female, because here we are, the majority of us is right here in America, and many of us are African American right here in this chat. And if you don't understand where I'm coming from, you'll understand in a minute. For so many years, I've seen, and many of you have seen, because we're about the same age, I've seen one culture take on our culture. Now, I'm not trying to, if you guys view me as being racist, I'm sorry, because this is not what this is about. But for so many years, I've seen time after time, whatever we create, someone else comes along and takes it for their own. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying as far as, the avatar thing or anything like that. But, now this particular content creator is more into the music aspect thing. And I don't know how it got to that point. But I do know for a fact that Danny is musically inclined. And I don't know anything about Kirsty. I don't. Okay. But my first reaction when I saw that it was wait a minute, wait, hold it. Hold it. It just took me back to a time where I saw the people over in China. I'll just use that as an example. The Chinese homeboys out there breakdancing on the street. And we know it didn't come from them. But they take it and they run with it and they capitalize it. And it happens time and time and time. We are a gifted people. You see what I'm saying? We are a gifted people. Black people have been taken from music, swag, all kinds of talent, singing, all of these things that other cultures are impressed with. But in the same token, there's one culture in particular that has a tendency to take them for their own. This is mine now. I'm not trying to help anybody, Fonda. I'm not trying to help anybody. I'm observing something that I've been observing all my life. This didn't just happen in YouTube. This is just another example of what I have constantly seen over and over and over and over. Double Dutch. We had the Double Dutch. Remember Double Dutch? It was going on in the hood. Little black girls was doing Double Dutch with 2 jump ropes. Nobody else was doing it. Then all of a sudden, what do you see? They doing it in the Olympics. And it ain't us doing it. It ain't us. They don't want to see us. They want to be us. Yes. Yes, Barbara. I'm glad to see that too. But this here ain't even about Angie. This is about robbery. I wouldn't even call it robbery. I would just call it you know, they have a term for Vlad TV. Culture vulture. You ever heard that term, culture vulture? Now, I'm not trying to pass judgment on this content creator by any means, because I don't know the whole story. But it just gave me a real feeling. It bothers me. It bothered me. Because at first it started out one way. Now it's this music that is not what you would think would be that music. It sounds a lot like Danny's music, to be honest with you. I'm just going to tell the truth about it. And when I almost felt like I was bamboozled when I saw and heard the actual Kirsty. I felt bamboozled. I've been supporting her. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed her videos and stuff like that. If she said she needed some money, I would send some money because she said she needed diapers and stuff like that. But you know what? I have to get out here and say what I got to say. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat nothing for nobody. and you can take it or leave it. But I'm tired of seeing people take us for granted, take from us. Had it been left alone as a, you don't like my opinion, I don't like your opinion, let's agree to disagree, keep your mouth off of me, I'll keep my mouth off of you. But now you want to start doing the music thing too now? I didn't hear all that music a month ago, and I didn't know she's been around. I didn't know. I thought she was brand new. I thought, because the subscribers are very low, I thought she was a brand new channel. Come to find out, that's not the truth. So I'm just saying what I'm saying because I'm like, look, I have supported her, but I don't like to be bamboozled. Nor do I want to see you playing my culture in my face and saying it's yours because this is what you like to do. I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. You wasn't doing it before you fell out with Danny. You wasn't doing it before you fell out with Danny. At least you wasn't publicizing it out there, doing the microphone and your little videos and everything. See, that's what I've seen Danny be doing. Hi, QT. How are you, my love? And I'm just saying what I'm saying because I've liked both sides. I honestly, but I just felt duped. I felt duped. And maybe that's my own ignorance. You can be whatever avatar you want to be. You can be any avatar you want to be. I can't tell you what you can and can't be, but I recognize what I recognize, and it's creepy. I'm just gonna say what I say. It's kind of creepy to me. The same thing that you're accusing someone else over in Canada of doing, it appears that you're doing that now. That's all I'm saying. And if you want to do a little video about me, go right ahead. It don't make or break me, baby. I wish you well. I wish you and your baby well. I don't wish no ill will. But dadgummit, come on now. Come on now. If you wasn't doing it before, why now? You want to show, or do you want to show just how much soul that you can have? Or perpetrate, or whatever the word is that I could use. You don't even live in America, at least maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just have a very thick accent and you do live in America, but I'm just, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If you from another country, why are you so concerned about what's going on over here? Why? Do you get joy out of seeing us battling with one another in the black tea sector? These are questions I have. Because I'm not concerning myself with whatever's going on in your country. We got enough problems right here for us to deal with as a people. I'm not running over there to wherever you're from, snatching up an avatar to make it sound like I sound like them over there, trying to fit in, get in where I can fit in. Be yourself. If you have an accent, what's wrong with your accent? Why can't your avatar have your accent? It gives me an impression that you are this person when you're in actuality another person from another culture, from another place in the world. And it puzzles me because, again, I go back to the days of the Beatles, Rolling Stone, Leonard Skinner, all these artists that came over and snatched up my people's gifts for their own. This is all I'm saying. You let yourself be seen, and I appreciate that. But I think I've seen something that you didn't want me to see or didn't want other people to see. No, this is not about the Canadian. This is not about her. But what I'm saying is, be yourself. You cannot compare yourself to Danny. Danny's a completely different person. And no, I do not work for Danny. If I did, where's my check, Danny? Where's my check? Since they say I'm working for you, I don't work for you. Danny's a fellow content creator. And that's it. But I'm going to call what I call when I see it. And what I'm seeing right now is some real cringe, culture vulture activity. And if this pisses you off, so be it. I'm sorry. But I'm going to call a spade a spade. I didn't know it was like that with you. I didn't know. But now I do. Because you will never be Danny. So quit trying to be Danny. Stop. You were doing just fine in your commentary of dropping the T until you made it about you. I see more of your music videos, of your AI music and that strong African beat and that strong hip hop and all that stuff that, let's be real. I'm just saying what I'm saying. We all got to live on this world together, but we don't need divide and conquer. We have enough problems with our own, for someone else to come in and add to it in our culture. We're fighting against those that are interfering with our culture. That's all I'm saying. Get in where you fit in. That's the key. Get in where you fit in. And if you don't fit in, move to another mode where you do fit in. YouTube is a vast place with all kind of different areas of content creation. I'm sure that there's something that you could probably prevail in. I'm sure of it. But division in here among my people, if I see it, I'm going to call it out. And I'm seeing it. So I'm calling it out. I think you're very talented in what you do. Your little avatars and stuff, and the way you delivered the news and all that, that was very cute. I really enjoyed that. But you took it somewhere that offended me. It offended me as an African American woman. Now, you may not understand. If you look at me, you may not see an African American woman because you don't know that we come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. You wouldn't know that unless you lived here in America. And I may be wrong. I may be wrong. But I'm just saying what I'm saying. Please don't cause any further division. It's not gonna look well for you. I'm sorry. I think you have a lot of promise here. And there's so many different places that you could be. But I think you've kind of worn out your welcome at this point. With that said, you guys, I'm going to end this live. But I had to get that off my chest. I had to get that off my chest because time and time and time and time again, I've seen them come and take our shit every time. I saw one person in a chat say, if it weren't for white people's technology, your people wouldn't be able to do what they do. Do you know how much of an insult that is? Do you know how insulting that is? Had it not been for the white innovators, you wouldn't be where you are. No, let me tell you something, Mr. Innovator. You can have all the innovation you want, but if you can't work it yourself, it's going to sit there in the corner. And when you went over to Africa and took slaves to bring over here to build this country, what, you think you did it just because they looked better than you? No, you did it because black people in Africa were kings and queens over there. They had the mentality and the wherewithal to build a country that you couldn't build on your own. This is where I'm coming from when you're talking about taking from my people, because my people have been taken from for centuries. Look around yourself. White House was built by black people. There's a number of things. Just pick up a book and look for innovations by black people. I got a couple of videos on it. But they don't want to give us the credit because that's what they do. They take it as if it's theirs. So that's why this is a very touchy subject with me. Absolutely. I love y'all. I didn't mean to get this deep, but I had to say what I had to say. I had to say what I had to say. So with that said, I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I might say it. I might come in a little earlier tomorrow, depending on if I have any work to do. But I love you guys. You guys take care. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Hey Mickey. Oh Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Oh Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you. Oh Mickey, you're so fine.
The like button, it don't cost you nothing.